It's going to be really bright out there this week. We got a new full moon coming, right?
That's true. It's the full moon is actually Tuesday at about 12:15 in the afternoon. So, and the full moon always brings matters to a climax. We start things at the new moon, and then you want to bring them to a climax at the full moon. The challenge with this full moon is that it's in Gemini and Sagittarius, and that's where Mars is, and that's where Mercury is retrograde. So even though you think you might be bringing it to a conclusion, odds are it'll be done over again just for all of the signs. But for Gemini, the sign that we are in, it's about their partners. And their partners have a lot to say, and they're going to get an earful of it over this week. And they really need to listen carefully because the partners actually have a legitimate gripe. They really do. For Cancers, this is a difficult full moon for them because they are without energy. It's the end of their solar year. They're tired. They're fatigued. And they may get some kind of medical news. And I got to tell you, because Mercury is retrograde, I would not believe it. I would wait until after Mercury goes direct and then have that redone just to make sure.
Speaking of, when does Mercury go direct?
June 12th.
Okay.
So we have another week of this. For Leos, it's actually not a bad place for it because this full moon is in their 5th house of children, amusement, sports, love affairs, fun things, creative things, things that you want to do over again, things that you'll have a good time with. So I think it's a pretty good full moon for Leos.
Visits to the granddaughter, those things.
Yes,
keep doing those over and over and over.
And incorporating that into your way of life. For Virgos, it's career and public standing stuff, and Virgos are trying very, very hard to establish an alternate career path, not different than what they're doing. It's sort of what they are doing, but doing it in another place. And they may make some headway with that over this week's full moon. There may be some sort of attention placed to it so they find out where they really stand with it. For Libras, this full moon is in their 3rd house of day-to-day living, so the pace of their day-to-day living picks up. And this is the kind of thing where you get additional other duties, and you just don't get any more money to go along with it. It's like adding 1 more or 2 more things to your day-to-day living that you have to do to deal with, but there's not a lot of remuneration at the end of it, which is never fun. For Scorpios, it is in their 8th house of other people's money and their 2nd house of earned income. And so, to me, when you have a full moon and you have Mars in Gemini and Mercury retrograde, it just means Scorpios, you're going to reach in your pocket and have to take out your checkbook and write checks for unanticipated expenses. And I just hope, I know, I just hope they don't bust the bank, but they're likely to. For Sagittarians, this full moon is in their sign, and usually it's about the partner, but in this case for the Sagittarian, it's about them getting what they want from their partners. So the partner needs to actually listen to what the Sagittarius has to say this time. For Capricorns, it's in their 6th house of health and service and 12th house of fears. And Capricorns have to be really careful not to let their fears well up and threaten to scare them to death, because there's nothing really to be afraid of, but they're hypersensitive with this full moon about all the worst case scenarios. And although that doesn't normally happen, that's what they're afraid of, and you can't let your fear drive your action. For Aquarians, it's just as much fun for Aquarians as it is for Leos. Only for them, it is with their social circle. Their dance card fills up pretty quickly. They may have romantic things going on with people inside of their social circle, which can be a very fun thing. It's a time of really having a good time for Aquarians. For Pisces, they are going to be under the career gun for one reason or another. The powers that be are looking at them and trying to evaluate the job that they're doing. And Pisces just needs to do their job. No one else's, just their job, and worry about doing that to the best of their ability to get a good result with it. For Aries, important matters at a distance, legal matters, educational matters, contracts, negotiations, selling houses, I hope, will all have that kind of contract and writing things being done. And they just need to make sure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. And then for Taurus, the last sign, they are about to collapse in a heap. They really, truly are. They're just out of energy. They have been going and going and going and going, and they need to take a little bit of a step backward, and just so they can go, because most of the stress is behind them. So, and that's a good thing for our friend Pat. That'll be good for her just to go.
All that grandma and is the baby coming home, all of those things.
Yeah, it's been a rough time for them the last 2 months or so. So this is the full moon where they just go, okay, I need to take a little bit of time just for me. So that's tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac with the full moon on Tuesday afternoon.
See you next week.
Always a pleasure.